DoorDash had a problem. As their cloud-native environment scaled and developers delivered new features, their monitoring system kept breaking down. In an organization where data is used to make better decisions about technology and about the business, losing observability means the entire company loses their competitive edge. With Chronosphere, DoorDash is no longer losing visibility into their application suite. The key? Chronosphere is an open-source compatible, scalable, and reliable observability solution that gives the observability lead at DoorDash business confidence and peace of mind. Read the full success story at snark.cloud/chronosphere. That's snark.cloud/CHRONOSPHERE. Hello and welcome to the Last Week in AWS podcast. As I was preparing to begin recording this episode, news is broken that Amazon is paying $1.7 billion, or 3 managed NAT gateways, to purchase iRobot, which is the manufacturer of the Roomba. Now, I've always wanted an Echo to follow me around the house, screaming at the top of its lungs, so this is a win for my needs. Now, let's see what AWS also got up to last week. Amazon CloudWatch metrics increases throughput by 150x. AWS bills everywhere brace for meteoric expansion. Amazon RDS for MySQL now supports enforcing SSL/TLS connections. This is another one for the "what the hell was it doing before" file. I hate discovering these things from a company whose CTO's most notable t-shirt says encrypt everything. AWS Lambda announces tiered pricing. This complicated addition to Lambda pricing is complete bullshit, and let me explain what I mean by that. First up, it only affects you once you're spending 5 figures a month on Lambda in a single region in a single Lambda processor architecture. If that's you, and you don't have custom Lambda discounting with AWS already, call your account manager and begin screaming, or reach out to me and let me do it for you. Next, it makes customer price calculations harder instead of easier. Instead of basic arithmetic, you get to use way more complicated formulas in Excel. Finally, instead of cutting the price of things that affect every customer, like NAT gateways or data transfer, they do a cut like this and toss it on the pile of price reductions we've made, and then refer to it as part of their long-standing commitment to lower prices for customers. It stinks. AWS Lookout for Metrics announcing increased quota from 50K to 500K metrics. More like AWS look out for your freaking bill if you're not careful. AWS Support launches a new AWS Support Center console domain. But not to worry, this domain boots you back to the usual AWS login prompt if you're not logged in already, so we can ask what the hell the point of this is. How to track AWS account metadata within your AWS organization. I use a Google Sheet personally because there still is no good native option. New AWS Skill Builder subscriptions, and this is being almost universally panned because it costs way too much money to pay a company every month for training you how to spend more money with that same company. How to containerize legacy code into Red Hat OpenShift on AWS Rosa. If you're going to containerize your legacy code, I'd suggest that perhaps don't do it onto a legacy container platform, which OpenShift very much is, to my admittedly limited understanding. If you think I'm wrong on this, don't get mad. Reach out. Teach me otherwise, please. Developers want to code fast. Security wants to ship securely. And it all, of course, needs to be at scale and in the cloud. Well, that's where Snyk comes in. Backed by industry-leading intelligence, Snyk is a security platform that meets engineers where they are, finding and automatically fixing vulnerabilities in code, open-source dependencies, containers, and cloud infrastructure. By the way, I love the fact that we are not calling cloud infrastructure and containers the same thing. Snyk also integrates seamlessly into all the tools and workflows that teams already use, so they never have to slow down, including AWS offerings like Code Pipeline, EKS, ECR, and many more that people actually use intelligently. Start your free account at snyk.co/morningbrief. That's SNYK.co/morningbrief. Develop fast. Stay secure. Snyk. Elevate your retail experience with Just Walk Out technology. Curiously, Just Walk Out is exactly what Amazon is freaking terrified of their warehouse workers doing en masse, which is why they're so adamantly anti-union. Optimal pricing for maximum profit using Amazon SageMaker. Based upon my own surprise billing experience with SageMaker Canvas, I have no trouble whatsoever believing that SageMaker is indeed priced for maximum profit. Updated requirements for U.S. toll-free phone numbers. Meanwhile, the Duckbill Group's phone number is 833 AWS Bill. I'm not kidding. Give it a try. 833 AWS Bill. You will love the automated phone tree that awaits you. How to save 45% on licensing costs by migrating and optimizing SQL Server on AWS. I prefer to save 100% on licensing costs by not building atop a database platform that has expensive and capricious licensing terms, but I'm kind of weird like that. Managing the cost of your experiments in Amazon Bracket. Oh no, my experiments with a freaking quantum computer are a bit too expensive. If this is you, I'd like you to please reach out to me. I have nothing to sell you. I just want to talk about what your life is like. And finally, there have been some extensive updates to the serverless application lens of the AWS well-architected framework. You want to pay attention to these because this is the best articulation we've got of where AWS sees the future going with respect to best practices. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm cloud economist Corey Quinn. Stay salty.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.